Is everyone that was on Friday anticipated to be on tonight?
Yeah, I believe so. And a couple, and some other people too. So
Great.
no one said they couldn't make it.
See, I didn't even come to practice and I'm here.
Yeah. The practice really was more for the end for us to make sure we got it working.
Okay.
Good news is we now have a quorum, so when the time comes, we can get it started. Just warning everyone, we are now live on YouTube and it will be recorded there, so just remember that. Well, it's now 7 o'clock and let's call the meeting to order on time. Welcome to the first Zoom meeting of the Clintonville Area Commission Zoning and Variance Committee. This is being live streamed on YouTube. And during the question, if anyone is watching on YouTube, when we get to the public comment period for each variance, I will be checking my email, which is hardwick.zoning@gmail.com. That's HARDWICK.zoning@gmail.com. And if we do lose a quorum via the video, we will we'll pause and restart per the city attorney's directions. But do I have any objection to the agenda? Any corrections?
Nope.
Did I finally get that right, everyone? Okay. Then without objection, the agenda is approved. Announcement, the next meeting of the committee will be May 27th, 2020. I don't know if that's going to be on Zoom or WebEx. The city's Department of Neighborhoods has made available their WebEx platform for future meetings if we want to use it. Okay. Consider the previous meeting's minutes. I redistributed those I made changes based on the comments I've received. Are there any additional changes or corrections? Do I have a motion?
A motion to approve.
Let's see, I'm gonna do voting just to make it easier. I'm just gonna have to go through each person and have them do yes or no. Sharon?
Approve. Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Mike McLaughlin?
Yes.
Michael Young?
Yes.
Paul Bingo?
Yes.
Michael Haw?
Yes.
Okay, and how many of that do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I vote yes as well, so that's approved 7-0. Okay, now on to the variance agenda. 150 East Lakeview, that's BZA 20. I'm gonna, just to make sure I'm following exactly what we distributed, I'm gonna I'm just gonna go off the agenda that we published. That's 150 East Lakeview, BZA 20019. It's homeowner Wesley Studebaker. In order to keep his existing driveway, seeks a variance to reduce the east side yard from 5 feet to 1 feet for the first 40 feet of the property on the side closest to Lakeview. The way we're going to do it is the applicant has to make a presentation. We have questions from the committee. Then, actually, excuse me, the report of the commissioner, if the commissioner wants to give it, questions from the committee, and then public comment. Okay, Mr. Studebaker?
Yes,
Okay. You're recognized.
yes, I'm here.
Okay. Do you have something you'd like to say about the application?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. You know, we built a new garage. We're looking to tear down the old one, and the city basically told us that if we want to maintain this driveway, we have to get this variance pushed through. So that's the reason for filing. That's really all I have to say about it.
Libby, do you have anything to? Is Libby? Yes, Libby, do you have
Yes, I'm
anything?
here. No one has sent me any comments at all.
Good. And same here. I've not received anything on this. Do we have questions from the committee?
No.
Well, I do, if I may, Steve.
Yes, go ahead, Mike.
I guess my concern that I'm having here is in the application as it's been submitted to us. I don't understand what the hardship is. In the applicant's application, the statement is we would like to keep the driveway, and unfortunately per city code, a desire is not a hardship. Hardship has to do with conditions that adversely affect the lot or are in exception to the rest of the neighborhood. And in the rest of the applicant's statement, he states that part of the desire to keep the driveway is due to the lack of available parking on the street. And unfortunately, that's a condition that affects the entire street, not just his lot, and therefore really doesn't, for his lot, present a hardship. So I'm not certain I see a hardship here.
I mean, I guess if you're
Comment?
looking, oh yeah, are you looking for my response to that?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Mr.
please.
Studebaker.
I would like to understand what you believe your hardship is.
Yeah, so I mean, really, it comes down to when we have people come over to visit, a lot of times it'll be difficult to find parking on the street because we're one
Again,
of,
my concern here is, yes, the difficulty to park on the street affects all of your neighbors. That is not a hardship. So if you could tell me what the hardship your lot condition affects you differently than it affects your neighbors.
Can I also
definitely a
ask-
hardship.
Can I also ask what happens, what do you have to do if you aren't allowed to keep the driveway? Do you have
Okay,
to?
those are good. Those are two related questions. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Studebaker.
yeah, so we've been told that if we don't keep the driveway, we have to pay to have the apron removed, and we also have to pay to have the curb reinstated along the street. So I think that answers that part of it. The other part really, I mean, I feel like we're kind of looking out for everybody on the street that, you know, the more cars we can get off of the street for parking, you know, we're kind of helping everybody out. So,
So are you saying you would not be able to use the garage at all if you got rid of, if this variance isn't approved?
no, so we've built a new garage that we access off the alley, and that's where our personal vehicles are stored. We're just looking to maintain this driveway for when people come over to visit, so they don't have to take up spots on the street that other residents that live on the street would otherwise have to use.
So if this weren't done, it would be, you tear it out and plant grass.
Yeah, although they did say, you know, we could maintain it as a quote unquote walkway. So, you know, I mean, in theory, we could just leave it the way it is. The only difference is we would have to take the apron out and we would just have basically like an asphalt spot beside our house.
So this would just keep, but this would keep that driveway exactly where it is.
Yes. Yeah, we wouldn't actually be changing anything.
What was the necessity of moving the garage from its current location to the alley where it is now?
The necessity is that it's kind of an awkward, like 1.5 car garage. We have 2 vehicles. Well, we have 2 cars, plus we have a motorcycle and a scooter, and plus all the normal stuff that you would put in a garage. So it was really too small for us to effectively use it. Plus, I guess the other side of it is that we are looking to add on to our house here in the near future. and the existing garage is in the way of where it would make the most logical sense to add on to our house.
In addition, the city does prefer people to use the alley access if at all possible. We've had other variances and things where the city has tried to pursue that. I'm trying to think, there was one just recently in my district where they really would have preferred for the resident to use the alley access, and the resident did not want to.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what else to add here. I mean, the only other thing I can add is, you know, the city kind of had me go out and do a pre-check with like traffic and parking, and also the planning divisions. And, you know, traffic and parking is aware of the fact that we have added the garage off the alley and we have access back there. Plus, we're wanting to maintain the access off of Lakeview for guests. And we've basically walked approval through everybody else verbally. And this is pretty much the final step, short of you know, seeking this board's approval and then doing the final hearing with the city.
Can I ask, does your neighbor to the east have an opinion one way or the other?
They do not. You know, our driveways are actually so close and have been so close for the entire time we've lived here, which is almost 10 years. It's almost like a shared driveway. You know, it's not an officially considered shared driveway per, you know, whatever sort of zoning rules. But I mean, they're literally about a foot apart and have been that way, you know, ever since we moved in.
I think sequence kind of matters somewhat too. Suppose the garage off the alley was there and you were asking to put in a curb cut and put a drive in. I don't think I would be so favorable of that, increasing the curb cuts. But here you are, you're definitely improving your property by adding a garage off the alley, which you will be using instead of the driveway. But I see no reason why you can't just keep that driveway that you've had for quite some time.
Well, I do think conversely, you bring up a good point. If the driveway is removed, you've also removed the curb cuts. You have created an additional spot on the street in theory as well. So you're not necessarily, you are increasing the parking on the street to remove the driveway.
That's actually not true because they only allow parking on the south side of the street and we live on the north side of the street.
That's a very good point.
Plus, there's a fire hydrant right there.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the committee? Okay, let me check my email. You can tell I accidentally locked my dog in this room with me, and that's my wife taking the dog out. But
It could be worse, Stephen.
yes, it could be worse.
It could be your child running through naked, you know.
That's why we have a background. But let me just, let's see here, go to. That's my. Do I have anything else? Check all my, see if it got, I'm going to check spam as well, just to be safe. Nothing in spam, nothing in the inbox. Oh, I got a notice from Diane Hayford saying she tries to join the meeting and it buffers and says the host has another meeting in progress. I think she probably is trying the wrong.
You might be
meeting.
trying the mock meeting from last time.
Maybe trying the wrong meeting. Let's see if I can, I'll see if I can find her. BJ, do you have the link? Can you email that to her right
Yep.
away?
Doing it
Thank you,
now.
guys. Thank you.
You know, I got in using the link for the public rather than the other link. So she might try that just from your agenda.
Yeah, just go straight from the agenda. BJ is sending it to her. And I'm. See if we can get her in here.
I hosted my first Zoom meeting today and I myself couldn't get in because it didn't like me with my password. So I've been very good about getting in on them, but hosting them was something.
Oh, yeah. The privilege of getting to do 2 Zoom oral arguments for the Supreme Court, the state
Oh.
Supreme Court.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So that was, I'm just giving Diane a chance to come in if she wants to. Have you seen any sign of her, BJ?
No, I'm still working on getting her the link. Hang in there.
Okay. I will send her one more email to also try the link on the agenda. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's keep things moving here.
So can I make a motion to approve the variance request for 150 East Lakeview Avenue?
I second.
Okay, let me pull back my agenda up. Here we go. Okay, the agenda. This is where I take the notes of what the vote is. Okay, we have a vote to approve, and I'll go through. Sharon.
Yes.
Okay. Kelly,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Mike McLaughlin. Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. Michael Young,
Yes.
Paul Bingle,
Yes.
Michael Haw,
No.
Judy Minister,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes, which is 7-1. So that's recommended approval. Will go on the agenda for this Thursday's meeting of the Clintonville Area Commission, which will also be done via Zoom.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Studebaker, you are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can leave the meeting and go on with the rest of your evening.
Okay, I might drop off. So do I need to be on the one Thursday also?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I have a link for it yet. I'll double check when I get off, and I'll email you back, Stephen, if I can't find it.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to 3741 Indianola. This is in order to bring the site into compliance. Como Mower Service and Sales seeks to, let's see, use the right one here. Promise to work off of this agenda. Seeks to permit exterior covered storage of lawnmower within the fenced area of the rear of the principal building as shown on the site plan, to allow outdoor storage of lawnmowers within 100 feet of residential property, to allow dumpsters to be located in the southwestern area of the site as shown on the site plan instead of directly behind the principal building, reduce the number of required parking spaces from 16 to 8, and there is no longer a request to eliminate the requirement for bike parking, and reduce the setback for the parking lot from 25 to 20 feet to accommodate the parking spaces in front of the retail building. Is it Carrick or Carrick?
It's Carrick, yes.
Carrick.
And
Ms. Carrick is,
yeah, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for hosting this meeting. I know it's not easy, but I really appreciate that you're trying, and hopefully we can move efficiently through this application. I do have a question. Is it possible to screen share so I can show the site plan and some other documents just as part of an application overview?
Are these the documents that we received?
Yes, it's what you should have received.
Okay, let me pull those up again, and I just
specifically, I think there's the presentation. It's titled presentation. I think it may be easier to work off of that one. I do like the idea of screen share because I can use my cursor to point to things.
Okay, and just so this is exact. Just to make sure, this is exactly what I submitted to the public in the final final agenda.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, then go ahead, assuming BJ White can let it happen. Can they do screen share? Yes, they can do screen shares, okay. Sometimes that's disabled. Go ahead. This, yeah, this, and for the public, I believe this is the update, this is the link labeled updated site plan in the agenda.
Uh-huh.
So, the Supreme Court didn't trust us with screen share. They disabled it for us.
Uh-huh.
Do you see my screen now or no? 'Cause
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
pull it up.
Yes,
Okay.
you're up.
Okay. Okay, and this is what I had shared with you, Stephen. All right, so I thought it would be, for those of you who haven't had a chance to look into where the site is located and what the specifics are regarding the variance request, I thought it would be a good idea to give you an overview where the site is, what we're asking for, and just go over some basic history regarding this the site and how we got to where we are today. The property is located at 3741 Indianola Avenue, and it's owned by Gerald DeWine, and I believe he lives in Tennessee. But Como Mower and Service and Sales has operated a mower service and repair business at this location for approximately 30 years. They've been at this specific site located at this address and operating fairly consistently with how they're operating today. And do you see my scroll here, what I'm showing you? I just want to double check. Do you see the picture of the site?
No, we only see your file. We see
List of files.
file list.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, just thanks for letting me know. Let me try to. Let's do new share. Do you see it now or no?
No.
I do not.
Okay, just to save time, Stephen, would you be able to pull this up and then
Okay.
maybe I can talk through it and kind of direct you?
Okay. Updated site plan. Let me just.
And I'll stop the share so you can do it on your end.
Okay. I just. Okay. Now, does that come across?
No, you're not sharing your screen yet, Stephen.
Oh, desktop one, I see. That's what, oh, I see, Chrome, Google Chrome, I think that's what it was. Open system preferences to grant access.
If it would be easier, I can try screen share again, give it one more shot.
Okay.
You want to try
Yes,
that?
okay.
Sorry, usually it works when I do this. I'm not sure why it's acting funny right now. Oh, here we go. It should work now. No? Yes?
Oh, I see.
Is-
There we go.
Is this,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't
It
recognize
should have,
this.
it should say 3760, 3741 Indianola Avenue, and then image of the site underneath.
Yes, yes.
That,
Okay,
okay, this will be a lot easier with me scrolling through it. Okay, so this is what the site looks like today.
Mhm.
I don't know how many of you are familiar with this business, but it's been in the area for approximately 30 years.
Mhm.
And it's located on Indianola, right on Acton Road and Indianola on the northwestern corner. It is just north of East North Broadway and south of East Cook Road. And the picture here is from Acton Road, just so you can see there's an access point over here. There's one over here on Indianola, and there's another one here. I will get into details regarding this area over here, but there is a fenced in storage area that we'll be talking about. And just generally speaking, as you can see, this site, it could use some refreshing. The pavement is not in a great condition. There's no striping. There's definitely some need for some improvements. And this is just another image of the site from Acton Road. There are dumpsters in the back that are currently not screened. They're not even shown on the current site plan, but we'll get into that in just a minute. I just want you to see what the site looks like today. There is a fence and it goes around the perimeter of the storage area in the back. And the surrounding area looks like this. Across on Indianola, there is a C4 and manufacturing uses as permitted for a warehouse property. There's some more recent development over here. I'm sure folks are familiar with that. Just to the south is Payne's Auto Service. This is across from Acton Road. And directly to the north is an office building. And this is what that office building looks like. It's also C4. And I should say that in the rear, across from the alley that's back here, there are residential properties zoned R4. And this is an aerial view of the site. This is a 2018 Franklin Auditor aerial map. It's actually quite accurate as far as what the site looks like today. And if I may, I'm going to show you, this is a 2005 aerial. And the site looked very similar to what it looks like today. If anything, the parking lot was probably in a better condition back then. But as far as the storage areas, they are in the same place where they've been, where they are today. Not much has changed with the site in recent years. And some folks may wonder the fenced in area. So we're talking about this area here that's fenced in. Okay. And I know that, you know, when you can't see what's hiding back there, people get curious, and I want to show you some pictures of what that looks like. So that fenced in area has been used for storage of mowers that are waiting to be picked up by customers. It's not used for storage of parts. It's not used for assembly for workmanship purposes. It's truly used for storing mowers that are either waiting to be picked up or that are going to get worked on. But this is not a work area. And you can see here that there's a covered area. There's also an area that's not covered. Now, these mowers are looked after. Of course, it's in the business's interest to make sure that they're covered if there's poor weather here in Ohio. And I want to show you, this is relevant because this is the current site plan that we're going off of. It's from 1975. And so when we're looking at what the site is supposed to look like today, it's supposed to look like this 1979 site plan that's of record. Now, it doesn't take a genius to say that this is not what the site looks like. But I wanted to show it to you because it hasn't been updated in recent time. And I think what may have happened is over the years, the site just evolved into what it is today. And it's a prime example of why an updated site plan should be provided for the site that shows exactly what it's being used for and how it's being used, and that has variances that are necessary. And this is another thing that I was able to find, a 1988 site plan. It's not the, even though it was submitted in 1988, this is not the official site plan of record. I'm not quite sure what happened, but either this site plan was approved in error or this building was never built and this plan was abandoned. I honestly don't know what happened here, but this is the official site plan. And it looks like there were some plans that were submitted thereafter, but the site was not developed in accordance with this plan. So basically what the city's position has been is that this is the site plan to go off of. And clearly the site plan does not reflect what's on the site.
That was,
Now,
I think that was a Big Boy restaurant.
was it?
Yes,
Interesting.
Oh,
now I'm remembering.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. On you go, sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, thank you for that. So Como More, the neighbors that I had shown you, the businesses that are in the area, they have a good relationship with Como. Como is not like a problem child, at least as far as I'm aware. I don't know if you folks have heard otherwise, but they have stayed on the radar. They don't get a lot of complaints at the city. It's not a business that's causing problems. And I don't know who or how, and it's probably irrelevant, but in July of 2019, and I apologize for scrolling so fast, the code enforcement team issued a notice of violation because they received a complaint regarding Como. Now, this is all reasonable. The site is clearly not in compliance with the existing zoning site plan. The parking is in poor condition. It needs to be repaved, restriped. And then obviously there's storage on site that's not shown on the plan. There's no variance of record for that. And the dumpsters are also not shown on the site plan. And essentially this order here that was issued by the city is the reason why Como had to submit an application for a variance request, because essentially in order for them to continue operating their business, they needed to submit this or significantly reduce their business activity, or quite frankly, it would probably be more practical for them to relocate to another site. But they want to stick around. And so this application was submitted for council variance, specifically for one use variance and several area variances. And Stephen had read off the list of requests, but I think what would be helpful is to show you guys what the proposed site plan looks like, and then go over exactly what the variances are. Do you see that?
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
So this is not a redevelopment. The site, there's no plan to demolish a building, build something new here. They are generally asking to keep the status quo as far as the retail structure, the primary structure, as well as the storage that's currently on site. However, they are asking as part of this project that first of all, the parking would be repaved and restriped, so it would be clear where customers and employees can park. There would be some enhanced landscaping here by the signage, and also by this strip of grass over here. There would be some landscaping that's not there now. A bike rack would be added right here.
Where?
And these dumpsters that are not screened would be screened to code. And other than that, the site would essentially stay as is today. So it's not a redevelopment plan, okay? Now, as far as the variances, I'll go through them one by one in the order in which Stephen presented them. The first one is the use variance. This is a C4 property. And in order for them to have covered or uncovered outside storage, council variance is needed for that use. Now, this is a pretty significant part of their business because this structure is small and the retail structure accommodates customers that are coming in to drop off. There's a couple of shelves where they can have certain products for purchase that are related to mowers, but it's not adequate to support their business as far as storing mowers for customers that are waiting to have them serviced. And all of the storage areas are solely used for storing mowers. And there's this shipping storage container that's been here for quite a long time. That's where they store more expensive things because they can't, and at some point somebody can jump over a fence and cause some problems for the business, but they have more control over the storage. They like having it locked. So that's why that storage area is there. Now, the first variance that they're asking for is this use variance, and everything would have to comply with what's designated on the site plan. So they can't expand this area without seeking approval. The site would essentially have to look like comply with the restrictions that are shown on this plan as far as the where the exterior and covered storage can be located. Now, the second variance is to allow outside storage within 100 feet of a residential property. These properties here are residential and they are within 100 feet of Como. And so that variance is needed because of that. The third variance is regards the dumpsters. Now, I did not know that this was a code requirement, but the code says that dumpsters are have to be directly behind a principal building. Well, the principal building is the main retail structure, and these dumpsters are clearly not directly behind it. So in order to keep the dumpsters here, and they will be fully screened. I think I may have said that. They're not now, but they will be. But to keep them away from this building, that variance is necessary for that. The fourth variance concerns the parking requirement. And the parking is actually calculated not based on the retail structure alone, but based on all of the fenced in area with the retail structure. And if you do the math, and I'm not going to get into a lot of details here, but I just want to give you the basics. If you add it all up, it amounts to 5,090 square feet. And that's all considered retail use, even though the customers only have access to the retail structure. Customers are not permitted in the fenced in area. That's only for the employees who are going back there to get the mowers. So 5,090 square feet, and you need to have one parking space per 250 square feet of retail use. And that amounts to 21 parking spaces. However, this property is within the community commercial overlay, and that means that there's a 25% parking reduction. So with the reduction, they would, by code, have to have 16 parking spaces. As shown on this plan, there's 8 code compliant parking spaces, 2 here in the front of the building and 6 here on the side. And so a parking variance to accommodate an 8 parking space reduction would be needed. But as I said, a bicycle rack would be added over here. Now, this is consistent with what the site looks like today. If anything, right now, with the lack of striping, there's probably lack of clarity for customers and employees where to park. But as far as the space that's available for parking, the site plan is consistent with what's out there today. Also, the customers are not lingering around the store, they're in and out. So in order to serve Como, this parking layout is adequate, generally adequate to serve their need. And customers either come in, drop off, or come in and pick up, come in and buy a part for their mower. It's not your traditional retail store where folks can linger for quite some time. And also there is during the busy season, summertime, typically, there is sometimes an influx in business. I'm not quite sure. I'm afraid to ask how things are going now, but in the summertime, generally, there are days when they expect more customers in, like around 4th of July and when people are trying to get their lawns looking good. So Como does have a relationship with the business to the south. And on days when they expect to be really busy, employees are allowed out of generosity from the southern property owner to park there on certain occasions when they seem to think that they'll need more parking, but it's rare. Generally, this parking arrangement seems to work for them. The last parking related, or last variance, I should say, pertains to these 2 parking spaces here. The code requires a 25-foot parking setback from Indianola, and it looks like this site's going to be able to provide a 20-foot parking setback from Indianola. And just to make sure that these 2 parking spaces are accommodated, there's a 5-foot reduction that the applicant is requesting. That is essentially my presentation for you folks. I'm happy to answer any questions. I think the idea here is Como has been around for a while, approximately 30 years. As part of this application, the idea is that they want to get in compliance. They don't want to be a bad neighbor or be considered a problem property. I think any business that's around for 30 years or so is going to run into issues regarding their site plan. And I think that the idea is to fix that now so they can operate for the next 30 years in the location where they are without having to have any further problems with this.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. This is, I believe, in district, there's a vacant commissioner here. I sent out the notices. I did receive one request for additional information from a neighbor, but didn't hear any comments back from that person. Otherwise, I have not heard any comments about this. Are there any questions from the committee?
I just wanted to know where the curb cuts are. I think I see where they are, but I just want to make sure I know.
Okay, so here's one right over here.
Right.
There's another here, and there's another here. Now, it may seem like a lot, but like I said, it's not a redevelopment. I would imagine if somebody were to propose a full-scale redevelopment, revisiting the number of curb cuts may make sense. But considering that all they're trying to do is improve the site and enhance it as best as they can, I don't know that they would want to reduce the number of curb cuts at this.
Those are the current curb cuts as well, correct?
Yes, that's exactly what's out there. Yeah.
And I understand because I saw the city thought, reducing at least by one of the curb cuts might be a good idea, but then you wouldn't, the likely one would be the one with the 2 spaces and you wouldn't have any way to get in there.
Exactly.
So I understand why you need this, why it needs to be 3. Okay. Thank you.
Are there other questions from the committee?
I've tried to stay up to date on all of the updates on the agenda and everything, Stephen, and I apologize. I just want to make sure, because everything I have says there will be no bike parking spots, but then I think Katerina said there will be. So is that a change?
Yes, that I sent out an amended agenda last night with
I,
all
I
the
know,
with
I
all the
tried to
changes.
keep up with them and,
Yeah, no,
and
no,
I
I'm sorry.
no, I thought I had the right one, but I must not. So, okay, as long as that's good, because I understand that it'd be hard to take a lawnmower home with a bike, but you might want to go looking for him with a bike. So, okay.
Okay, just enter any other questions from the committee? Yeah, I gotta pull up check my email again to make sure there are no comments from the public, questions from the public. I will check spam just to make sure. Don't want. Nope, no one from. Nope. Nope, there are no comments, no questions from the public. Is there anything else from the committee, or do I have
Make a
is there
motion
anyone
to
from the Zoom
approve.
public?
The only thing I'm
Go.
thinking is, it would be nice to kind of have an idea when you go to the commission of what the landscaping, kind of have an idea what it might look like. What plants you might be using, are they native? You know, I mean, I just see a bunch of dots. I don't know what that means.
We didn't get that far into the details. Are
Right.
there any particular landscaping
That is not
suggestions that I could run by the
Mike
applicant?
McLaughlin, right?
I'm
Mike,
sorry,
what
sorry, I
did they
didn't
do?
hear that.
Mike, Mike McLaughlin, do you have any comments? You're muted. There you are.
On landscaping?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it should be native, like spice bushes, stuff like that. No invasive. A lot of times you see those fire bushes, those aren't good. So something native would be very nice.
Okay, thank you for that.
Are there any comments? I think we have one member of the public watching via Zoom. I want to make sure I'm not leaving them out if they have a comment. Okay. Okay, then do I have a motion? It's the person who makes the motion gets to choose whether they want to make a motion for one or for all five or for any number of them. Do I have a motion?
I make a
Okay.
motion to approve all variances.
Okay.
I'll
and-
second.
Okay, can you take off screen share, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Thank you. There we go. Now I can see everyone again. Okay. Let's go through the vote. I'll just vote in the order I see you in Zoom. Kelly,
Yes.
Mike McLaughlin,
Yes.
Paul Bingle,
Yes.
Michael Haw,
Yes.
Judy Minister,
Yes.
Diane Hayford,
Yes.
Michael Young,
Yes.
Sharon Groves,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. And that recommendation will go to the commission. And just one note with council variances, the last I heard that the council was, at least in their truncated meeting, was only considering variances that have been get unanimous approval by the commission. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if they're going to be changing that in the coming months, but at least for the most immediate meeting, that was their plan.
Stephen, is that 10?
The 9, 10,
9?
what do you mean?
I mean,
9.
I haven't. What's the
9 to
vote,
0.
please?
9 to 0.
I can't
9 to 0.
count
They're
how
only
many
9
people we are. Okay.
or
Thank
9
you.
to 0.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for double checking. Well, then you, Ms. Carrick or Carrick? I apologize.
Carrick, it's fine.
Ms. Carrick, then you will be on the agenda for this Thursday for the Clintonville Area Commission. Just as I told the last applicant, you're free to watch if you want to, or you're free to go on with your evening.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Okay. Okay, now we're on to 118 Graceland, 19 GC 056. The applicant seeks variances for a new sign to replace the existing sign to be smaller in overall height than the existing sign in order to accommodate identification for Graceland Flats. Specifically, they seek a special permit for off-premises signage and a variance to allow an off-premises sign in the CCO. Mr. Visco?
You got it, Lou Visco.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you for the, with Casto, of course. We visited the sign a couple times. I think inadvertently, I just noticed as the meeting started that several variances dropped off the agenda. And I thought it was my printer, and I've read it a couple times. I think they might have got dropped off. In some, you've got in your packet a rendering of the new sign. Essentially, we took the comments from your committee as well as the City of Columbus, and we incorporated both the Graceland flag sign in our small pylon, we call it. We actually reduced the height of that pylon, and it works for us. It works for our team. We hope it works for you. Signage is more important than ever. Whoever we have left out there when 2020 comes to an end, definitely are going to appreciate the ability to wave their flag on High Street. Certainly asking for your support tonight. As I noted, I think there are 3 variances that, again, I believe they were inadvertently dropped off. To increase the tenant panels, we want to go from 5 to 7. To increase the portion of the ground sign for tenant panels, we're adding, of course, Graceland Flats, so we're going from 50% to 80%.
Can you repeat that? Yeah, I think part of the problem is that they were handwritten, and I did go back and forth with Bruce trying to clarify exactly what he wanted.
Okay.
So I thought this was what he eventually said he wanted. They're handwritten, and I had trouble reading the actual application. So
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
They'll
make the residential side happy, but the retail side, we'll say, Lou, you didn't get it.
Okay, increase the portion of the ground sign from, what did you say? Increase the portion.
I'm going down through the agenda, the revised draft agenda, just prior to receipt of this final.
Okay.
And you've got
Okay,
number 1 is consistent, special permit, CC 3375.
Okay.
Number 2 was increase the number of tenant panels and changeable copy, CC 3377.11A.
Okay, so I need to go make sure I get everything exactly right. And I don't, let me see if I can, I don't know if I can find that.
Steve, if you have the application in front of you, check page 5 of the application that you linked to off the agenda. I believe that's listing all 3 variances he's referencing.
Okay, trying to pull that up. Let's see here.
That one is on the agenda.
Yeah, one of them was, but I think what happened is I sent out one of the early versions of the agenda, and Bruce contacted me and said that I had some things wrong.
Oh, okay.
So I went back and forth to clarify with him. And
yes. Specifically,
then,
what missing off the agenda is 3375.11, the variance for the tenant.
Because what happened, he said, I thought that was only what the city then, yeah, this is in the statement of hardship page. It's the 4th page of the application. Is Mr. Visca, can you check to see if that's what we're talking about? There are 4 things listed on there.
I'm looking at November, and then December 17. I'm looking at the Graphics Commission.
I'll look at 22520, the application page. This is in this. It's in the statement of hardship. The 2nd page of the statement of hardship, 4th page of the application PDF. Did I have the wrong one here? Oh,
you might be looking at.
I see. I do have the wrong. I'm sorry here. Trying to pull everything. Sorry.
And some of these makes it a little more difficult. Some of these variances, I think, evolved At one time, I think we were looking for 90% of ground signage. We don't need that.
So
To
which
my
page?
knowledge.
Okay, here it is. Page Graceland. Okay, but trying to find it. I'm looking at the application. Is it in which page of the
How
application
about the
is it in?
staff review results?
Yeah, that's where I see. So that's where I see 3 variances listed as in the staff review results. And I also believe it's the 3 are listed in the handwritten request on the first page of the application. I see a 3377.11, the 3372.706. There's 2 of those.
I see staff. How about this? It says staff review review results. This is from November 8th, 2019. So
Yeah.
is that correct? Is that what I
Yep.
should be looking at?
We heard it on November 20th, our committee.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
that would have been
I
that would have
think-
been the pre.
No,
Why don't you
yeah,
just
that's-
list it slow? Okay, let's go
that's
list it.
recognized. Go ahead.
Let's just list it slowly, one by one, and that way it's probably at some point it just becomes easier to restart from 0. Number 1, a special permit for off-sign premises. That's 33. Is that still correct? 3375.12
B4. Yep.
B4. Okay. What's number 2?
I have to increase the number of tenant panels, changeable copy CC 3377.11A.
3377.11A
Correct.
and increase tenant panels.
7 from
To
5
7.
to 7.
5 to 7. Okay. What should be number 3?
3, my understanding, to increase the portion of the ground sign utilized to display tenant panels from 50% to 80% of the total graphic area. And that's CC 3377.11C as in cat.
Okay. Increase the portion of this I have 50. I made sure I got the numbers right. 50 to 80%. Increase the portion of
A ground sign,
signage.
you're
Ground
right,
signage.
utilized to display tenant panels from 50 to 80% of the total graphic area.
Okay. Increased portion of ground sign used to display tenant information, tenant panels
Mhm.
from
Right.
50% to 80% of the total graphic area. Okay, what
Okay.
should be number 4?
Number 4 I have is to allow actually to increase the height of the ground sign from 6 foot to, I believe 17 foot will work.
Increase
17 foot.
17,
height. of-
correct, correct. It's a foot lower than the existing one.
1 foot lower. Okay.
I think that's
Six-
more of a narrative than anything, but
Okay, and what's the number? What's the number for that one?
CC 3372.706, C as in cat.
Right.
Okay, what should be number 5? Is that a variance to allow an off-premises sign in the CCO?
You got it, yeah.
Okay, and okay, now that we got that straight, now we can go on to the presentation.
Well,
And I'll
yeah.
repeat that again before we vote, so people
Sure.
know.
Do
Okay,
you want to
go
go
ahead.
through the variances, or do you, again, there's not much I have to add other than you have in front of you the new sign, the proposed sign. We've incorporated the Graceland Flats medallion or graphic area. We've expanded a bit our graphic area for retail tenants. We're asking for up to 7 tenants on that. We currently can have 5, I believe. The sign is going to be located exactly where the small pylon sign is currently located on the shopping center property. There will not be a separate sign that we're going to be coming in for Graceland Flats. internally, everyone's satisfied with what we have here. And that's about it. Unfortunately, we're going to have to completely reconstruct the sign. We were hoping just to reface the existing sign, but given the fact that we're going a little wider, it's going to be a new construction. So had to ask for a little more money from the asset manager.
So how much wider is it getting?
The existing sign has a base that is something smaller than what's displayed there, but necessarily we have to expand that out for Graceland Flats. So it's rectangular the whole way down. But this is going to be, I'm looking for dimensions. It's going to be 9 foot wide. Actually, a little less, 9 foot wide is the graphics area.
And what do you know what it's currently?
I do not have the current dimensions in front of me.
Okay. But it will be just somewhat wider.
Slightly.
Slightly wider and slightly shorter.
And slightly shorter, correct.
Okay. Okay. We have questions from the, this is in Commissioner Carpenter's district, and she's not here. And I have not received any, I did send out the notices and I have not received any comment. So questions from the committee.
I guess my question is, what here is substantially different than what it looks like we approved in November, on November 20, and that the CAC approved on December 5th? I was trying to follow along on the list of variances there, and I just don't see what's different.
Yep. At one time, we were going in for 2 signs. We were looking for 2 signs. We were looking for a separate ground sign for Graceland Flats, and we were just going to ask for some additional, basically the additional retail area, panel area, graphic area. And there was pushback and comment. My understanding from the commission, Bruce Sommerfeld from SignCom went right in front of your commission. And I was in meetings with the city where they indicated they wanted 1 sign for both. They recognized that signage was needed for Graceland Flats in the back of the center, but they didn't want to put another sign there. So we incorporated this 1 sign.
And any other questions from the committee? Any questions from the people on Zoom, including the commissioners? Or what?
No,
Oh,
and
no.
I just want to say thank you for taking the notes and the consideration of the commission, as well as the city planner's notes on that project. Thank you for taking those under consideration and working within those concerns to find your solution. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
I concur also. I was one of the naysayers, so yes.
I'm just checking. I just checked my email. I'm gonna check the spam again just to make sure that nothing has, no member of the public has called it, is written in. Nope, we have no public comment. Unless I have any questions, I'm going to reread what I have just so that we're on the same page. They're seeking a special permit for off-premises signage, which is 1. 2, to increase the tenant panels from 5 to 7. 3, to increase the portion of ground sign used to display tenant panels from 50% to 80% of the total graphic area. 4, to increase the height of the ground sign from 6 feet to 17 feet, which is 1 foot lower than the existing sign, which is 33. Oh, I'm not giving codes. And 5, a variance to allow an off-premises sign in the CCO. Do I have a motion to either approve 1 or all of them?
I motion to approve all.
Do a second?
I'll second.
Okay, vote again. I'll vote, start doing it in reverse order this time. Sharon,
Yes.
Michael Young,
Yes.
Diane Hayford,
Yes.
Judy Minister,
Yes.
Michael Haw,
Yes.
Paul Bingle,
Yes.
Mike McLaughlin,
Yes.
Kelly Teal,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. Recommended yes, 9-0. And that goes to the commission again. You've heard it on Thursday. You're welcome to, as I told the last ones, you're welcome to stay, or you probably want to get on with your evening.
I'll probably drop off. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay,
Thank
have
you.
a nice evening.
Thanks.
Okay. And let's see, let's move on to the final applicant, which we've heard before, but there is this is 3400 North High Street, 19 BZA 30. They've come back to us seeking they seek to reduce the minimum number of required parking spaces from 59 to 24. As I understand, the reason of this is the city wants to hold on to its right of way and not allow them to use some of the space that's in the existing lot for parking. Mr. Zartman can correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Zartman, you're up now.
Thank you very much. I want to echo what Katerina said earlier. We really appreciate groups like you that are getting together and performing this important duty. It's really important to us and also our clients, and we very much appreciate it. So thank you very much for venturing in this new digital world of meetings. Greatly.
Okay. Just someone has feedback here.
Oh, is that
Can
me?
anyone who's not talking?
Yeah,
Oh, is it me?
I think
it
so.
is. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it is you, Eric, because when I mute you, it all goes away.
But you know what? We can hear you. So let's just move on instead of let's just move on.
I could call in by phone if that would help. Or
We could. Do you have what? Do you have the call-in numbers? They should be in the app. I can find them. Did you have easy access to the call-in numbers? You turned. It looks like you're trying to
Hold on.
see if we have. Okay. See if I could find it here.
does this help? I'm not facing a brick wall anymore.
No, it's still okay. Here's the phone. Here's a number to call. What 646-558-8656. And you use this meeting ID. Do you have and the meeting ID? You need to put in the meeting ID and the password. 846 is the meeting. 846-5600-7029. And I will, in case since I don't want to put the public password, I'm going to give you, Eric, I'll email you the password right now. So that if you call in that number, put in the meeting ID and the password, it should patch you in. One tap. God, I hope. And Chair White, you should be seeing him trying to join that.
Okay.
Yeah, unmute yourself, Mr. Zartman, and you should be. I think you still have to unmute yourself, Mr. Zartman, for you to be heard. There you go.
Hi, how's this sound?
We can hear you now. You just-
Saying how much we appreciate your group getting together and meeting.
Okay. Okay, now you're up.
All right, great. I'm getting feedback on my end now, so.
Of course.
All right, there we go. Okay, thank you very much. So we're back to you this time because we got some results from, last time we met, we hadn't received the results just yet from our right-of-way exception request from the city. Those results came in and it was a partial relief from the right-of-way dedication. However, they're requiring that the full right-of-way along North Broadway gets vacated to the city, whereas they're not going to take any right-of-way away from us along North High Street. So as a result, a significant amount of our parking spaces were eliminated because we lost about 15 feet of our northern property line. Last time I was with you, what was ultimately approved was a parking reduction of 26 parking spaces, and that was contingent on the results of the exception request granting a full relief along North Broadway. Unfortunately, that's not the case, so the applicant is coming back in today with a revised site plan which reflects the results of the exception request. We were able to gain some spots that we lost, but through reconfiguration of the lot and also adding some parallel parking spaces, as you can see on the site plan. So the request today is for a parking reduction of 33 spaces. So it was originally 26 last time I was with you, and now it's 33. An increase of a reduction of seven parking spaces. In addition to that, the traffic department also decided or concluded that the the access point on North High Street needs to be removed. So we have done that in the site plan that you have today. And then same as last time, we have a relocated North Broadway entry point that's further west. It helps gets that access point away from the traffic light, and also is better for refuse removal, which lines up directly with the dumpster on the site. There's no changes to the actual building or anything like that from the last time around. We're still just requesting to convert the first floor of the building to a 3,450 square foot restaurant with a 900 foot outdoor patio. We think this is a great project and opportunity for this corner, and we think it activates the commercial corridor like it calls for in the neighborhood plan. And we hope to have your support tonight. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, now first we'll go to Commissioner Weatherholt. Do you have any comments as the commissioner for the district?
No, I know that some people are interested in it, but I had no negative comments. I was wondering if you heard anything from the fire department about turnaround for vehicles like that?
Yes, the traffic department looked into this issue. That was one of the things that we personally believed the fire department needed, the North High access point for their circuity. But the traffic department met with the fire department, and they concluded that traffic or fire access would be no problem with just the one North Broadway access point.
Okay.
I'm a bit dubious, but that's what the fire chief and the traffic department determined.
Okay, well, if they're okay with it, then I guess we have to go with it, but I'm with you, yes.
Okay, any questions from the committee? Yes, Ms. Hayford.
So, okay.
Diane.
So how many parking spaces do you have on site with the new configuration?
Right, there will be 22. There's also one of the parallel parking spaces we're not allowed to count, but all the standards are met from an engineering point for the size and space, but the traffic department did not want to allow us to count that fifth parallel parking space.
What did you need? You're down to 22. What's the requirement again? 50?
The requirement is 55.
55. And then you have secured agreements with elementary school and the church. I think I
Right.
saw those.
Yes. The agreement with the church is the primary alternative parking. There's the applicant's going to include in their lease agreements that office employees are encouraged to park there during the days. And then the overflow, if there is any, would be over at the elementary school for nights and weekends.
Okay. And do you have any, I mean, I don't remember, I saw it, but I don't remember what the numbers on both of those parking agreements were.
Let's see, the church is 26 and the elementary school is 15.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So combined on-site and those lease agreements combined, if you would consider that, is more than the minimum requirement of 55.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me add one more thing. Since last time we met with you, we've also did a parking study on the street. It's required for the city for all parking variances now in certain areas. And this was done in the end of February, so it was before there were any shutdown or anything like that. And the results showed that in around a 750-foot radius from this corner, there's generally about 150 to 180 available street parking spaces at all times. And that study was done 3 times on a Friday and 3 times on a Saturday.
Any other questions from the committee members, or anyone watching on Zoom want to? Looks like we don't have any more guests on Zoom except for commissioners.
Stephen, on the on the north portion of the property, so are there no parking spaces now on the north side of the property?
There were some spaces that pulled in straight to North Broadway.
Right.
Those are all gone, and they've been replaced by 4 code-compliant parallel parking spaces and 1 non-compliant. But we intend to park that with the first and last out person.
Got it.
And my only comment is that I don't know what the city thinks it's going to do with that extra right of way. I think.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that.
North Broadway Street Association also wonders. Yes.
Yes, and that's I think that's one thing that maybe it might be worth the commission adding to it, that adding some comment to this, that they don't want the city to be using that extra right of way. Yes, I think that's based on the.
We're going to be doing one more Hail Mary pass, and we're going to, after this process, we're going to request the right for us to vacate and purchase some of additional right of way. It's a month many months long process. So we just can't sit around and wait for that. But that is one thing that we're going to do. We're going to request to be able to buy back some of that right away.
My guess is that's something that would be worth going to the commission to get their support.
Yeah.
Because that's
No, that would
part of,
be appreciated. Thank you.
Mr. Zartman or Mr.
Yes.
Hart?
yeah, Mr. Weather, yeah, go ahead.
Where is the white brick wall? Is it going or is it, what's happening with it?
Technically, the white brick wall is in the vacated right-of-way area. Our intent is to not tear it down until someone from the city tells us to tear that down.
Okay. And the same on North High Street or?
The one on North High Street is within our right-of-way, and it's not going to be affected.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's within our property. It's not going to be affected.
Right.
No, that was part of the one thing that was resolved that everyone seemed to agree on was that what they were doing, but that if they were going to do what they were going to do, it was that and no more. So that's, but that's, I think that's beyond the zoning committee's purview and is probably something within the, more within the commission's purview.
Right.
I just wanted to,
I just was wondering, is that kind of dashed line there in the shaded? Is that the one?
Let me pull it up. The shaded area is the part that is being vacated, and the wall is So the wall is it's that line is sort of towards the top of it. It spans across about 4 of those parallel parking spaces.
So it's not a dashed line, it's more of the solid.
It's like a double line. Do you see where do you see the numbers S88 apostrophe 12 apostrophe 56?
Yes. Yes.
It's that thing right that runs right below that.
Okay.
Okay.
any other questions from the committee? Since we went on a little more, I'm going to do one last double check for questions from the community, if anyone emailed in and they haven't. Is there any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the to reduce the minimum number of parking spaces required from 59 to 24?
I move.
It's 55 to 22.
5 to 22, right?
I'm sorry. I wrote on the 55 to 22. I put on the agenda 59 to 24.
That came out of a previous.
That came out of a previous version.
Yeah, that came out of a previous. There were 2 screening forms that looked like one was April and one was May 1st. The May 1st, 2020 is the 55 to 22.
It's the 55 to 22 is what.
Correct.
Mr. Zartman, that's 55 to 22?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry about any confusion on my end.
Can I make was that exactly what the motion was from 55 to 22?
I'll make another motion.
For 55, just to make sure.
Yes.
A second? Okay, do we have, let's see, we'll go in. Sharon Groves for a vote? Sharon, do you have a vote?
She's muted.
Oh, you're muted. You can do thumbs up. Yeah, yes, we can see. Yeah, you're unmuted. Okay, yes, for Sharon Groves. Michael Young,
Yes.
Diane Hayford,
Yes.
Judy Minister. Is that, I take that as a yes?
Yes.
You're also muted.
Okay,
Sorry.
Michael Haw,
Yes.
Paul Bingle,
Yes.
Mike McLaughlin,
Yes.
Kelly Teal.
Yes.
Did I skip you last time, Kelly?
No?
Okay, good. So and I vote yes as well. And my only comment is I think it's, as I said, it's important that the commission put some sort of maybe consider a second resolution along the lines of saying we never want the city to use that. I don't know if you want to go as far as saying we support them being able to buy the right of way, but that seems like that's something that's worthy to be underlined.
We're definitely going to apply for that, and I will let you know when we do that. It'll be relatively soon. So we'd definitely appreciate it if you have a letter of support or something like that. We'd certainly file it with it.
Well,
It's my
Mr. Zartman,
understanding.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I might just want to plant the seed in your ear that there's a reason that these advertising benches exist in the city's right of way. I don't think it's any news flash that I have a lot of disdain and contempt for those, but they do exist without permission by the city of Columbus, but there is legal precedence that they exist as a result of adjudication. The city attempted to remove them from their right of way. And because they were advertising mediums and paid for contractually by customers, the judge said no to the city of Columbus. They have to exist, and they exist there without any kind of formal permission by the city in their right of way along High Street and Indianola.
It's very interesting.
So I just thought I'd put that out there to you.
Okay.
Yeah, are there benches in this right of way? I'm not.
No, across the street from you,
Okay.
on the other side.
Well, I'll look into that, and I will reach out to you. Hopefully, if I have some questions, if that'd be all right.
It could pique
Okay,
one's interest.
Just, I think that's not a zoning, the right-of-way issue, I believe it's not a zoning issue and would probably just be a letter of support from the commission itself. I don't think it would pass through us, but do I have?
Okay.
This has been a long haul, and I know you guys are looking forward to having a resolution to it.
Yeah, we are. And
yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you all.
just,
We really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll try to
and,
get
just
my.
so you know-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I
No,
was
you
just
go
going to say thank you, and have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to
Good luck.
adjourn?
I
Motion to
move.
adjourn.
Okay, meeting adjourned, and thank you very much. We'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.